What's the one thing that you would tell a potential new teacher or a staff member about our district that you wouldn't find on a job board, that they wouldn't find unless they were here experiencing what we do?
That is a great question. I think the best thing that we do here is work to build relationships with new staff and really bring them into the fold. And I think the more that we do things like we're going to do on Institute Day in January, where we're giving staff a voice in planning and prep and what we're going to do in the future, is something you won't see in every district.
Beach Park District 3 to our very first podcast episode of Beach Park District 3's Beyond the Bell. Today we have a very special segment for you called HR in the Car, where I'm going to drive around town with a very special guest to do an interview and provide you an opportunity, all of us an opportunity to get to know people better that we work with in our district. And it's all about building culture and increasing our climate and becoming more connected. Without further ado, I would like to welcome the great, the one, the only, Dr. Wilcox. Hello, Dr. Wilcox.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm going to adjust this a little bit.
Oh,
You
boy,
should be able to
okay.
see us in here, no problem.
I'm going to put my seatbelt on because safety first.
I
Mr.
love that.
Capozzo.
Okay, I love that. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
You're
you
welcome.
spending this with me. And to reward you, I'm going to let you pick wherever you'd like to go and treat you to something special.
Special treat?
Special treat. What do you think?
Love Starbucks.
Starbucks? All right, let's put this car in drive, and here we go. Oh, how's your day today?
Oh my gosh, it's been a very busy day today. Started my day at the Lake County Superintendent meeting, so it's been a busy day.
All right. Well, as you know, I presented this idea to you a couple of weeks ago and thought this would be a really good opportunity for us to connect with one another, spend maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes listening to these podcasts and getting to know one another. And I think you're the most important person to get to know, even though we're all equal in the district. You are our leader. And so I thought maybe we could start with a question like your origin story. So do you want to share with the people where you're from or some things about you?
Sure. If you know me very well, I grew up in Michigan, but I've actually lived in Illinois longer than I lived in Michigan. So I officially hit year 27. And if you can do the math, I'm 51. So I definitely have lived in Illinois longer than Michigan. My origin story, both my parents were educators and I loved what they did. I constantly begged my father to let me grade papers with him. And when I graduated from college, I subbed in both my mom and my dad's classrooms. But I also had a first grade teacher who I also had for third grade. And then I was allowed when I was a senior in high school to go back to her classroom to do like service hours. And so I knew in first grade that I wanted to be a teacher, just like my parents and just like her. Her husband was also my soccer coach growing up. So she came to my high school graduation and gave me a scholarship for going into education.
Holy cow. What did your parents teach?
My mom taught high school home economics, parenting, and family living for 44 years in Otsego, Michigan. And my dad taught middle school history and world geography for 40 years in Allegan, Michigan.
So the goal is 40 years.
Ooh, I'm not sure that the goal is 40
Okay.
years, but
Okay.
we'll see.
All right. That is, you've covered almost every single question I've had. Now I'm going to have to ad-lib these.
Oh boy.
So it sounds like your biggest inspiration is your teacher.
It was.
Oh, how did you end up in Beach Park District 3? And where have you started here with us?
That's a great question. When I moved to Illinois, I started teaching in Grays Lake, and I taught there for 13 years before becoming an administrator. And it was a really, really hard decision to leave the classroom because I loved teaching kids. When I did that, I decided I got advice from one of my mentors, and they said the best way to spread your wings into administration is to not work where you've always worked. And so I left the district, Grays Lake, and went to District 300, where I was an assistant principal for 5 years in both an elementary school and a middle school. And then I moved to Round Lake and was a principal in Round Lake for 3 years, and then ended up here in Beach Park to become the director of curriculum instruction, which was really my passion. I know a lot about curriculum instruction. I was a really strong instructional leader and always believed in the importance of, if we provide the best instruction to kids, we'll get the best results. And so by chance and opportunity, I was able to become superintendent here, and definitely didn't feel like I was ready, but became superintendent. Here we are 4 years later. I've learned a ton. I've made tons of mistakes, but I love our community. I love our staff. I love our kids. And I have had the best opportunity to just serve our community under a great Board of Education with their full support and the support of our staff and our district leadership teams.
So my question was going to be, of all the places you could work and you had this opportunity in Beach Park, what keeps you going in our district?
That's a great question. So recently, I was given 2 mentors through a special program for people that are new to the superintendency. And one of those mentors sat me down one day and said, is this where you see yourself staying for your career? Because you're either a large district superintendent or you are a smaller district superintendent. And both are perfectly fine, but you have to decide what kind of district you want to work in. And I have always known, in fact, every district with the exception of D300 that I've worked in, it's been a reasonably smaller district. I like a smaller district where you know everyone, you're able to collaborate with everyone. And I feel like I have the best of all worlds here in Beach Park, just because, again, we have such a supportive board. We have staff that are very connected, and there have been lots of staff that have stayed in the district for 20 plus years. And I think it's a great place to work, learn, and grow with colleagues and have the opportunity to kind of build your capacity as an educator.
Yeah, there is a really nice feeling in our district, and it is small, and I've always enjoyed that. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'd never had someone break that down before because, a lot of people in the superintendency, this is going to sound terrible, but they kind of chase the next opportunity to be bigger and better than what they were. Whereas I like the opportunity to stay here in Beach Park, and what I started as the director of curriculum instruction, I've been able to build upon in the superintendent role. And
Sure.
It's fun to just watch our district continue to grow and do better. I mean, just school report cards just came out, and our trajectory up with the number of students that are grade level proficient just continues to go up in both ELA and math. And that is extremely important to me as someone who is very much into curriculum instruction. So what we're doing is working, but it just takes time.
Do you think that this growth that you're seeing is attributed to one specific initiative, or what do you think it contributes the greatest to our student growth?
Probably going to say something that's not a popular belief, but I truly believe climate and culture makes all the difference in whether or not you could see growth in students, because students feel it when there isn't a positive culture in a school or in a district. One of my main priorities when I was first hired as interim superintendent was to change the climate and culture that had been created. And I feel like I have worked very hard to do that and build really positive relationships with staff, with parents, with our union leadership, because that helps us be able to make effective change that, again, can change the overall climate and culture of the district, and by so doing, every school.
I think that's a great reflection, and I can attest to you just having a unique opportunity as the director of human resources to be near you and see the work that you do every day. And I know that that's a passion of yours, and I agree with you that there are so many initiatives that can be put together, but you can't really pull anything off in education unless you love your people. And I know that people feel the love because I hear it from people, and we can see it right now. And we made it to Starbucks. That was a roll of the dice. So we drove and answered questions, and I followed all the rules. So
I know.
here we go, kid. What are you thinking?
I just want a tall, like the smallest one, tall brown sugar shaken espresso.
Well, first, I'd like to let you know that I have the superintendent of Beach Park School District with me, and we're on an adventure to get something sweet to have. So she's going to place an order, and then I'll have one. Ready?
I got you.
A tall brown sugar shaken espresso.
Okay.
That sounds delicious, and I've never had one. So make that 2, but I'll go with the grande. That's the next size up?
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
No problem. Can I get a name for the order?
Gabriel.
You can record.
So here's the funny thing when you record a podcast on your phone and you do it while you're driving, you don't actually have access to your Starbucks app, so you can't.
Oh, no. I have. Wait, where did I put my phone? I have my Starbucks app. You want it?
Girl, no. Not at all. You're not covering this. I'm treating you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that a great deal.
So let's do a fun question.
All right. I love a good fun
what
question.
Kind of questions do I have? Fast ones. These are the barn burners. This is really going to tear it down
Barn
for me. This is a real,
burner.
this is a barn burner. Superpower choice. Oh, I might even know some of this. So if you could instantly acquire one superpower, what would it be?
Okay. So if you know me and have ever stepped foot inside my office, who's on my desk, Gabe?
I know that it's Wonder Woman.
I would want the lasso of truth. And while I realize that's not a superpower,
It's a superpower.
as a superintendent, the lasso of truth would be so helpful to me all the time.
I would agree with you that I think in your role, the lasso of truth probably would be a really good superpower. All right, you're on a desert island. You're stuck there by yourself, and you only have one thing that you could eat. I mean, we're talking about your entire time. That's it. This is the one thing you're gonna have. What's the snack? What's the choice?
Oh, it's between 2.
I'll give you 2,
Okay, good.
but you're only getting 1.
That's fine.
Okay.
It would either be Simply Ranch Doritos,
Oh, wow.
you know, the healthier version of Doritos.
Okay,
allegedly.
like baked or something?
They're
Are they
not baked,
Okay.
but they're like less ingredients.
Okay.
Or my high protein cereal that's gluten free
Yeah.
from Whole Foods, which is the Fruity Pebble flavor of deliciousness.
I might have been able to guess that one. I just wasn't sure if that was going to be like a lifelong.
Oh my God, it will be a life.
So that's not a flash.
It's the greatest cereal ever made.
All right, not a flash in a pan.
It's
All
called
right,
Magic Spoon, if anyone's.
magic spoon. All right. You can
Only
get
the
that.
flakes, though. The rounds are gross.
Okay, I love it. All right, one thing that Dr. Wilcox is surprisingly good at outside of the education.
Surprisingly good at tennis.
You are surprisingly good at tennis.
How do you know that?
Because 2 years ago we did an admin retreat and tennis was the activity, and she's surprisingly good at tennis. She's the best at tennis, actually.
I wouldn't say that. I'm no Serena Williams.
Any one of us administrators, anyone that at the admin retreat, she was the best tennis player. Is that you were a sleeper? I'm going to give you that one, girl. All right. This is a risky question.
Oh, I love a good risky
Only
question.
because I know you. So
That one's yours.
okay,
FYI.
that's me. All right, cool.
Oh, here. I'll put this.
You're good.
Sorry, we're trying to organize
Thank
20
you.
things at once.
This is what it looks like. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Capozzo.
You got it. My pleasure. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
No one's in the Starbucks line. Let's taste this.
Exactly. This is like the best day ever. Who doesn't need a mid-afternoon coffee?
What are we working with here?
This is brown sugar shaken espresso. It's made with oat milk.
Okay, open my palate.
Deliciousness, except you really have to kind of mix it
Yeah,
together.
I see it settle down there.
Oh, no, all the coffee's at the bottom.
Fair enough. All right.
It's a little trick of the trade. Oh, let's not spray your card. Sorry.
You're good. I think as far as a good question goes, I'm thinking like this was the one. If you had this is the one I'm rolling the dice on. If you had a
rolling the dice.
If you had a theme song for every time you walked into a room, this is going to tell a lot about you. What would your theme song be?
Oh, okay, this is going to be terrible.
I know it's going to be.
And I mean, no offense to anyone, okay?
Yeah.
But my theme song is a song by Avril Lavigne. That only dates me, just FYI. And it's called Dumb Blonde.
Okay.
It's about like women power.
Women power.
Yes.
All right.
And if you paid attention at all on the first day of school this year,
Yeah.
it was my walk-up song in the video that I played for everyone.
Okay.
It was an excerpt from it.
It was an excerpt because it probably wasn't 100% appropriate.
It's not inappropriate. I don't want people to think I don't like blonde-haired people because that is not the case. The song just happens to be called Dumb Blonde.
All right. So
I ain't no dumb blonde.
had I been prepared, we probably could close this segment with that song, unless it's like some type of copyright infringement.
Oh, no.
All right.
I
So
could definitely pull it up on my phone for you.
last
Really
guilty
wanna hear it.
pleasure question is going to be Are you binge watching anything at home that you'd probably be ashamed for anyone to know?
Ooh,
And if it is, although you have a high confidence, high self-esteem, I don't think you'd actually be embarrassed to share anything.
ever.
I think our
No,
community actually knows that about you too, which is a
absolutely.
beautiful attribute of you. So, what's your most recent binge watch?
Yeah, so what I'm binge watching right now, and I'm almost done with because it was 7 long seasons, is Once Upon a Time. I
Oh,
had never watched it,
it's cute.
and I absolutely love it. Although I'm very baffled by the last season here because it really took a very different turn.
I watched it. I didn't finish it,
Okay.
but I really enjoyed how they intertwined all of the characters into kind of modern,
And made them
right?
all like related
Yeah.
in some way.
Yeah, wasn't it?
It was great.
Cool.
It's really been a really cool show to watch.
There's going to be a bunch of people on here that connect with that.
I hope so.
So that was down and dirty. Good. We got some coffee. We asked some fun questions while we were in the drive-through. So let's talk about just the district, the vision, and the mission. Looking ahead, what's a single most important mission or vision that you have for our district?
Well, I've made no secret that ultimately my goal was for us to become Blue Ribbon Schools of Excellence, and every one of our schools in the district be recognized as a Blue Ribbon School of Excellence. If you pay attention at all to what's happening in the world today, you'll know that with the Department of Education kind of going away to the wayside, they decided to do away with the Blue Ribbon Schools of Excellence award from the federal government. However, I believe that our governor, Governor Pritzker, is going to continue with the Blue Ribbon Schools of Excellence of Illinois. And so we will continue down the same path that we have been. And that's the legacy that I want to leave behind, that our kids attend a Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, and that they are so lucky that they're part of this community and that they get to learn and grow here in Beach Park.
I love that. That's good.
And
That's great.
moving forward to our Institute Day in January, my ultimate goal is for us as a district to reimagine education in total
Okay.
and be the model school for other people to want to come and watch what we do so that they can have that in their own district.
So you say Institute Day, that'll be a collective activity. Everyone's going to be involved.
Everyone will have a voice who is at our Institute Day in January.
I love that. So culture. If you could define a feeling that you want every one of our staff members in our district to feel, something that they walk away with, and that's something that they walk into every single day when they come to Beach Park District 3, every single day, what would that feeling be?
That they're seen, heard, and appreciated.
Truth. I'm just looking into this camera right now, and I'm thinking about driving, and you're asking me these
It's got to be
questions.
so hard to drive and be like, what am I going to ask next?
Yes, but I see our shirts, right? And I think that I'd be remiss not to ask about sparking curiosity and igniting core memories. You want to take a minute and run that down for our audience?
Well, last year, our theme, I felt so strongly after 2 years in the role of superintendent that our theme had to be about our kids can just watch them. So that was our theme last year. And it was all based on, Ted Lasso's Believe, and we gave everybody believe signs. And one of the things in Ted Lasso is being a goldfish, right?
Yeah.
Having a 10-second memory. But it's also about being curious and not judgmental. And so this year I wanted to tie something to curiosity because I believe so strongly that we have beaten curiosity out of the classroom.
Agreed.
And it's really about compliance, accountability, and making sure that we meet minutes and hours in the day and we cover every single thing that we're supposed to in the standards. And while all of those things are super important, curiosity has gone to the wayside. And I remember being a kid and being very little, even when I was 5 in kindergarten and only went to school for half a day. I was very curious about everything. And I feel like it's gone. And I last year really wanted to do the theme on Inside Out and the emotions. And everybody was like, it's very elementary. And I'm like, but emotions really hit to the core of what kids, how kids feel and how we learn and how we grow. And that is really an important element in what we do in schools every single day. And we worry about kids' social emotional well-being. And so I wanted to use the inside out, emotions. And as I started thinking through that, I'm like, what would be a theme that goes with that? Like, feel all the feels. What would it be? And then it was, oh my gosh, I want to tie that back to curiosity. And it just came about, like, sparking curiosity is what gets kids invested in learning, right? And then, creating core memories. Well, that's what we're doing for kids when we're teaching and creating these, high engagement lessons for kids is we're sparking curiosity and we're creating core memories that they'll never forget. And that's the joy of learning.
100%.
And going back to Joy, I dressed up as Joy at the beginning of the
Yes, you
year,
did.
and she obviously is my favorite character, and she is so excited about everything. And I do feel like that is me to my core. I'm very joyful, very excited, and I want people to feel that passion. And I felt this theme, Spark Curiosity, ignite core memories, would be a way to share that joy with all of our staff and our kids and our families.
It's awesome. And I think that you are one of the few individuals that I personally know that captivates a character like Joy. I think you emanate it. And I know that it's infectious. I know that our staff see that. So it's almost like divine intervention. It just happens to be that it works perfectly. And it's been a super fun theme as a staff member to have conversations. And I think it's changing the vocabulary of our district. I hear people often reference that's a core memory. And no one ever had those conversations. We weren't saying things like core memory, like I'm using core memories outside of and saying, hey, this is a core memory. And when I think of something from my childhood or something from the past, I now have a vocabulary, like a tool in my lexicon that says, hey, those are core memories. But it's not really been tied together for me until we've done this initiative. So it's been great. Speaking of which, I think that's a good segue into a question. This podcast is really being built to connect our staff, our community, our kids, our parents, to what Beach Park is doing, who we are, and I want to see it flourish and blossom, and I want to bring people in, and I want to give some exposure to all the great things that we're doing. And of course, that's going to assist us in recruiting great staff members. What's the one thing that you would tell a potential new teacher or a staff member about our district that you wouldn't find on a job board, that they wouldn't find unless they were here experiencing what we do?
That is a great question. I think the best thing that we do here is work to build relationships with new staff and really bring them into the fold. And I think the more that we do things like we're going to do on Institute Day in January, where we're giving staff a voice in planning and prep, and what we're going to do in the future is something you won't see in every district. And that's hard to emulate into, I guess, one word or one phrase. But I think I would want new staff to know that we want them here. We want them to join our Beach Park family, and we want them to have a voice in what we do because we know that they have so much knowledge and passion and learning and understanding to help us grow and shape us into the district we're meant to be.
Beautiful. You mentioned a new staff member. So what would be a piece of advice you would give a new staff member coming into our district?
Don't be afraid to speak up. Be confident, but also be ready to listen, take in feedback in order to make your classroom and ultimately our district the best place for kids. I think feedback is a really tough thing for a lot of people because people take feedback as it's always negative. And I guess that flipped for me when I was a teacher in my last year as a classroom teacher. I looked at feedback as, wow, feedback is always an opportunity to learn and grow and change what I'm doing to better meet the needs of kids. And the reason I say it was my last year of teaching is because I had a really difficult student and I had to change what I was doing. I had to change my behavior in order to meet that kid where they were. And it was the first time that I really saw it's about me taking feedback from the student to change what I'm doing to meet what they need from me to be able to learn. And it was like literally an aha moment of that's what I have to do every day to get to every student. And I had always looked at feedback, not as a negative per se, but more so as, Well, that's interesting that you see it that way. That's not how I see it. And now I've really flipped that. And I'm pretty sure you, Mr. Capozzo, could probably attest to me taking feedback and really trying to put it into actionable ways that I can change what I'm doing to meet the needs of everyone, whether it be staff at the district office, parents, whatever it is, administrative team. I'm always trying to take feedback and make changes to better all of us so that our district is great.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I know for a fact that some of the peers that I work with in other districts, they don't have the access to their superintendent. But more importantly, I think you make yourself very, very accessible to anyone in our district. But I personally have had conversations with you that have been difficult and would have been more difficult or not have happened at all if you weren't so welcoming and you didn't have a policy that really invited me to come in and speak my mind with respect for you and your position and stay in my lane, but say, hey, I feel like this, or I have an idea about this. And I feel it's a safe space. You've created a safe space for that. It's really difficult, I think, in a superintendency position or any administrative position to get past the title.
Yeah.
So no matter all the hard work that you do as a superintendent and how much, you're out in the buildings, you're shaking hands, you're doing dishing with Dr. D at every building where you go and have lunch and you provide this open forum. It's difficult. Do you find, and I think it's difficult, but do you find it difficult to still get past the title in that? Do people still apprehensive to say that's still the superintendent?
I definitely think that is true. It's something that I don't want to accept because I believe so strongly it's not big me, little you. We're all in the same place. We're all doing the same work in order for our kids to get what they need. But I do see that, you have parents who are afraid to come and meet with the superintendent just because you're the superintendent. And I think it's the same for staff. My title alone kind of scares people away from wanting to voice their opinions. But I do feel like it's starting to happen more often. Just yesterday, a teacher here at KM, obviously out of convenience, walked right over to my office and said, I want to go to high school graduation because it's my first class of kids. They're seniors this year. Do you know someone that you could, put me in contact with so I could go get a ticket? I said, sure do. And that has never happened before. And even though it wasn't a problem, it was a request. I think people are getting more comfortable because they've seen me interact with everybody and have the same demeanor, same decorum of, I want to help. What's the issue? Let's problem solve together.
Yeah, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that it takes trust. You have to have these individual experiences. Leadership has taught me that you have to have these individual experiences with people in order to build the trust. And when you have 350 staff members and you have 2,000 children, it takes a lot of time. I commend you for that. We've made it all the way through our car ride.
I know.
I'm super impressed, actually. You've done an amazing job, and so I'm so grateful for you, Dr. Wilcox.
This is so amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. I want to thank our audience because this is the very first episode of Beach Park Beyond the Bell. And
Andy was super nervous about doing it.
I was nervous about doing it. I was worried about a bunch of things that have now come to fruition and they're over with, which is great. And once a month, so the way this is going to roll out, I'm hoping to do, and I will. I'm not going to say hope anymore. I'm going to do a weekly podcast of interviews, and we're going to get access to our staff to share with you where you can follow us. But we will be a standard streaming podcast, so I'll be taking care of all of that. We'll be doing 10-minute episodes. I'm going to really encourage our staff to get involved with spending 10 minutes with me just to provide insight and opportunity when you're on your car ride to work or on your car ride home to connect with maybe one person you wouldn't connect with or you don't know. And I think the district office staff will probably be pretty pinnacle in that. Just like the title, we're not always in every building. It's hard for us to get around, but wouldn't it be great to just be able to share who we are at a more personal level with our staff and go from there? So I want to thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity, staying behind me. You're always so supportive with everybody. You don't treat anyone differently. Your equity as far as support has been impeccable. It's amazing. Fortunate enough to be with you. It's not because you're the superintendent, it's just you're a good human being.
Oh, so are you.
At that, I appreciate you expanding my palate with this coffee. I'll make sure it's stirred up. And we want to wish all of you a wonderful weekend. Happy Friday to you. And please look forward to Beyond the Bell. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.